Hey y'all, got old moon above that pine tree. A little brisk evening here on this, what is this, Thanksgiving Eve, Wednesday night in Texas. I elevated myself just a little bit. I'm up here on this roof, and boy, it's sure mighty fine to look at. They got it all done earlier in the week. Been through our first little rainstorm and no buckets were needed. Looking at the layers they peeled off of this old roof, I guess they pulled about 4 or 5 layers. Reaches back about 60 years. And had to redeck it. The old cedar shakes were still on it. Ripped off the chimneys. That's all right. It's in top shape. That other one you couldn't walk on. The asphalt had completely worn off to as smooth as glass. And you'd fall sure if you got up here. It's funny, I've had my time climbing trees and topping them with different companies over time, and it's funny, I'm not scared to climb a tree, but a roof's another thing. A little different perspective, but sometimes I can get a little shaky when I'm on a roof. I've never figured that out. Been thinking a lot about fear as we see it all around us. I guess it's been magnified here of late with different circumstances and world events. But been studying on that and thinking about it and wondering why so many people, I guess for lack of a better word, people of faith tend to come across so fearful. Seems to be more prevalent among that bunch. That's kind of my circle of friends, so I'm always perplexed when I see it. I don't know that it's outright fear, but it's definitely a serious concern for things. So I studied on it. A good book. Read somewhere where there's 365 mentions of fear not, or be not afraid. That sounds poetic and neat, but not quite that many. Not to the number anyway. But it is one of the most quoted in that holy book. Fear not. Yet we end up doing it. But, I don't know why we do. No sense in it. Can't change tomorrow. We can only walk through the moment we have. At least that's been my experience. And I guess if we knew what was going to take us out, we'd live in a ball curled up somewhere, wouldn't we? So no sense in it, in my mind. One of my daughter's favorite verses, and of course I guess it's one of mine, a lot of folks quote it. It's in Jeremiah 29:11. A lot of people call it a promise verse. It talks about how the Lord knows the plans that he has for us. Plans to prosper. It's a good verse and a good promise, but I think a lot of folks don't understand that promise comes with a little work. If you took a minute to gander at the whole chapter, the 10 or so verses before it, the Israelites were in exile in Babylon in that time, and the instructions were, ahead of that verse, to settle down, bloom where you planted, if you would. It even says to plant a garden, carry on with life, build houses, even in rough times. Marry and have children and keep the lineage going. But you know what's a hard pill for a lot of folks to swallow? They like hanging on to that verse, but the good book says to pray for the city. Pray for the city that it would prosper. Because if it prospers, in turn you'll prosper. Don't fret and try to get out of it. Just settle down and bloom where you planted and trust. I know I could use a dose of that from time to time, and I guess I got a bigger helping of it sometimes than not. So fear will hit me every now and then, but maybe not as often as some, and I count that as a big blessing. Speaking of fear, these turkeys in here don't know nothing about what's going to happen tomorrow. Good thing the flock is a little smaller because it ain't happening here. They're gonna make it through this Thanksgiving. I think a couple of them were hiding from me at some point. But, they are big and eating. Too bad one of them ain't out here gobbling. They was yesterday evening. It's cool air. Looks pretty cool watching them walk around with their feathers all ruffled out and putting on a show. Goats are doing good. Everybody's healthy and thriving. I still reckon we're going to have some goat kids here within the next 30 days or so. They coexist with these chickens like it ain't nothing. Hey guys, let's see, we'll turn this around. Hope y'all have, well, where's my, there it is. I done changed it up on me. There's Miss Reese. Wait a minute, I got it mixed up. That's JoJo and that's Reese. And DW's over there plotting. And the chickens are taking up the scraps. Isn't that something? All is well here. I'm excited that roof on there. Now we'll begin the next phase of starting to peel back that old paint on that exterior and take it a little bit by a little bit. I may just take it one day at a time, do one stripe around and no, I'm not gonna do that. I was joking with somebody about that. They said, I guess I could do what I wanted to do. Yeah, I got a little more sense than that. Some of y'all are traveling. Hope that the holiday finds you with family and that you have a blessed and safe one as you travel. Be thankful. Yeah, I am. So, hope y'all are as well. I'm going to try to do a roll call here. So y'all sound out where you're at. And some of you may be displaced from where you normally would be this day ahead of a day that we set aside to give thanks. And boy, don't we have a lot to be thankful for. Sure do. Sissy's on patrol as normal. Let me look on here and see where everybody's at, and we'll call it an evening. Back up here. Boy, the sun's going to be pretty setting over there. There's my good friend out Nashville, Tennessee way, or Nashville area, Miss April. How are you, ma'am? Let's see, there's a happy Thanksgiving to you. My Donna's down in Huntsville. How are you with Wild Man? Good to see you checking in. Miss Joanne Smith. Good to see you. And Sandra. Let's see, Roy's in, I forget where he's at. Long time follower. My tongue's tied, y'all. Good to see you. There's Miss Melissa. And Doris McKinney, how are you? Happy Thanksgiving Day to you. Jeannie Lawson. Looking forward to a good day tomorrow. Let's see, I think that's about everybody. Donna Boatman's checking in. And Melinda Earl, how are you, ma'am? Yeah, you caught me on. That's a couple times you caught me live, huh? Oh, those turkeys are big. I wish one of them would come on out here and do his little strut. Imagine if I let Sissy in there to rile them up, they would. But silly things, they are big. Good afternoon from Arlington, Texas. There's Mr. Miles checking in. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Charlotte Taylor, West Tennessee. That's cool. House has a pretty new hat. That's right. Boy, it looks good, doesn't it? I didn't even know a storm came through last night. That's the first, right? That'd be all right. What color we're going to paint? I'm going to stick with white. We'll just go back with white, just like it's been. It sure look good with a new jacket on it, right? There's Linda. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Darlene's checking in from Western Washington. Bobby's saying howdy. And Melinda wants to make sure I know it's Oregon. I know that. I used to call it Nebraska. Sorry about that. There's Joe in Central Illinois. Not too far from my kiddos and grandbabies up there. Bobby is in Meadowview, Virginia. Mike out in California. There's Miss Jeannie in Southern Indiana. I thought I had everybody. It's still scrolling here. Charlotte saying happy Thanksgiving. Hey, Sandra, how are you? Good to see y'all checking in. There's Miss Sherry out in Zavala. Good to see you. Hope you're going to have a good Thanksgiving. And let's see. There's Miss Judy Lynn. My buddy Brian Wade. That is a graphic making genius right there. Love to see his. He keeps me smiling on his Facebook page. He's got a pretty heavy lock on that gate because old Zuckerberg don't like most of the stuff he posts. Does give me a laugh. Good to see you, Brian. There's David from, let's see, Tallahassee Island. Maybe I got that right. I don't know. Georgia, whatever it is. Roy's from Houston now, originally from Trinity. That's right. And it is a good time for a campfire, Judy. Well, there comes them turkeys. That's a hen right there. She ain't that big. But, anyway, they're getting their little evening worm snack, if there's any left after this little cold snap. But see if I can catch one of these big toms in here. They're normally strutting around. Oh, they all over at the water trough. They are big. You ought to see them when they blow up their feathers. Let's turn it around here. What are y'all doing? Is that something? That old, there, he's starting to flare out a little bit. Anyway, we'll have some baby turkeys next. There we go. You gonna gobble for us? Huh? There you go. A happy Thanksgiving from the turkey that don't need a pardon. He's gonna make it. Is that right? If only they knew how lucky they were, right? I guess they don't have any fear either. It says to consider the lilies, right? They don't toil or spin. Well, learn a big lesson from a few flowers, couldn't we? All right, y'all hold it together. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and I'll leave you with the turkey strut for the evening. Y'all be the light.